they were just a great linebacking core again. I mean, that defense was one of the great defenses, I think, of all time in the NFL. I don't think there's any question. You had Dave Robinson, who just recently went into the Hall of Fame. In fact, I just saw somewhere a question. One of the great things about the Pro Football Researchers is we have a forum, and people come on there just to discuss football topics. And somebody said, "Well, was Robinson, did he deserve the Hall of Fame?" And
yes.
Everybody that responded said it was a resounding yes.
Absolutely.
He made one of the key plays. Actually, it's sort of a side story. I live in Akron, which is just south of Cleveland, and Robinson settled in the Akron area. And right around the time I was doing the book, I ran into him in the local coffee shop that's right up the street from where I live. And I mentioned him at the time that we were doing the book, and that's why through actually he had become very close with the Browns alumni since he lived in the area. And when we had our meeting in 2014 up in Cleveland, the contact that we had through the Browns contacted Robinson. He came in to speak for us, which was really nice because it was sort of a transition into us having the meeting in 2016 in Green Bay at Lambeau. And but he lived in the area and everything. And the thing about him is that he was such an intelligent player. I think that was one thing that a lot of people said about him is he was one of the most intelligent players. But again, much like Kramer, he was sort of overlooked because he maybe didn't have the name recognition of everybody. I think everybody knows who Jerry Kramer is because of the books he wrote and everything, but he was always sort of overlooked. Everybody knows Ray Nitschke, obviously.
Yep.
But it is what it is. And I think one thing that Lombardi brought to Nitschke was he brought discipline to him, and that's why he was able to blossom into the player that he was. You can't speak enough about just the greatness of the team as a whole. They just, they're as I said, the parts were greater than the whole. I mean, the whole was greater than the parts, but they just had so many great players. I mean, a number of Hall of Famers, obviously, and just, a great team all out.
Oh, absolutely. Talking to George Bozeka, the author of the 1966 Green Bay Packers, Profiles of Vince Lombardi Super Bowl I champions. And, George, I'll get you out on this. Can you lay out for us the game that was Super Bowl I?
Yeah, Super Bowl I was the Packers and the Chiefs, obviously. And it was really sort of interesting going in because there was a lot of pressure on the Packers from the NFL establishment at the time that they had to win the game. It was still a time when there was a lot of competition between the NFL and the AFL at that time. It was actually called the AFL-NFL World Championship game. It wasn't even called the Super Bowl yet. Now obviously we know it as a Super Bowl, but it wasn't called the Super Bowl. It was the championship game between the two leagues. And as they went into the league, there was a lot of pressure. The players said at the time that they realized the pressure that even Lombardi was on. And actually, there was sort of an interesting story that Lombardi felt that the players might have been too tight going in, and he did a little soft shoe for the players, which was sort of outside his character. But it was just to get the players to laugh and lighten up and everything going into the game. On the other side, the Chiefs really respected the Packers and who the Packers were at the time. And, I found it interesting. One of the Packer players said that at halftime it was still a close game at halftime. And I think it was Jerry Kramer said to Len Dawson, who was the quarterback for the Chiefs at the time, that it almost was like a victory for the Chiefs to be so close. And Dawson said, you may very well be right about that because, then the Packers came out in the second half and, pulled away and won the game decisively. And then one of the great side stories, obviously, is Fred the Hammer Williamson, who said, he was going to lay the hammer. He was a famous defensive back for the Chiefs back in the day. And, he had a reputation for being a hard hitter and, lowering the boom on anybody that came into his area as a defensive back, and he was just bragging it up beforehand, and he got knocked out of the game, which obviously the Packers had a lot of satisfaction in getting him out of there because, they had to listen to him, bragging. I mean, obviously, 2 years later in Super Bowl III, Namath, was bragging, but at least Namath was able to, go out and get the job done. Williamson didn't, so, yeah.
All right, George, thank you for your time.
Sure, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take it easy, George.
All right. That was George Bozeka. His book is The 1966 Green Bay Packers, Profiles of Vince Lombardi's Super Bowl I Champions. Let's take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because we'll be talking football next on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Yo, what happened to your hair?
You have to experience what I just experienced.
What'd you do? Stick your finger in an electric outlet or something?
Close. I just listened to Electric Air.
Electric air. Electric air.
Can everyone stop repeating electric air and tell me what electric air is?
Electric air will get your heart racing, neurons sparking, and lips smiling. Join me, Tova, as I shock your ears with EDM's greatest hits. 5 out of 5 doctors agree 1 hour of electric air every week is just what you need to increase your energy and leave you feeling stimulated. Side effects may include uncontrollable mood swings, shuffling, and in some extreme cases, headbanging.
Too much headbanging, huh?
Dude, those side effects are serious. Seriously amazing.
So join me every Wednesday night at 8 for Electric Air on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC asks if you know if your business would survive a disaster. Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency.
And 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover.
Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should a disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business.
Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, American Red Cross, the Ad Council, and the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Jacob Volks.
Here we go. Nothing's gonna ever keep
Here we go
me down.
again.
I'm the best.
Jacob Volks.
Around. Oh, I can't even sing my own liner.
Goodness, you don't even know the song.
You know what it is? I have so many that they just all meld into one.
Yeah, I forgot you're the big superstar.
You were almost awarded the part for the Karate Kid, but Ralph Macchio took it.
Ralph Macchio had sex with the director. That's why he got it over me.
My goodness, Jacob.
He's also pretty.
Someone sounds like a hater over there.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've actually met Ralph Macchio at a Comic-Con, and he is actually a really nice guy.
He's a really big Islander fan, too.
He is a huge Islander fan.
I have his bobblehead.
I don't think I do. I don't think I went to that game. But I'm taking you on Monday, Eric.
I know that, against Vegas.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be
Okay,
it.
nice.
I honestly hope that Grice is not in net. That's all I got to say.
Oh, my God. He
that
is
was
horrible.
Awful. That
he
was
stinks.
awful. The whole team played bad yesterday.
Well, he scored 4 goals. I don't know about that. The defense played bad. The defense was horrible. Waite should have pulled Grice. It's that simple. But you're listening to Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Jacob Volk. Sitting across from me, Brandon Johnson, who you can follow on Twitter at StephJohnson_. Eric Fischetti, who you can follow on Twitter at Sergeant Fish. Fish! As Dominic
Glub,
would say, glub, glub, exactly.
I'm sitting in his chair. I'm Dominic now.
Okay, fine. Become a Jet fan.
I can't do that.
Become a Met fan.
Oh, my God. No, I can't do it. He doesn't even like basketball either, but that's probably, a blessing in disguise.
No, he likes basketball. I just don't think he likes any specific team. He's like a casual Knicks fan, I think.
I think he's a Celtics fan, actually.
He used to be a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
Growing up. Dominic, if you're listening from, I think he's in Binghamton, correct us. And Joe Ardita, who you can follow on Twitter at JoeCoolNY. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at RealJacobVolk. Number to call if you have something on your mind is 516-572-7440. So let's get to football. On Sunday, the Jets will host the Falcons at MetLife Stadium. With that in mind, guys, make your predictions. Hey, you're doing a Jet chant over there. I like
this
that.
This on the low. I'm not trying to go too hard with it.
I mean, this is the best time in the week. The Giants don't have to win or lose.
I was
They're not even playing.
The Giants are guaranteed not to lose.
That is such a great feeling. But okay, this week is going to be, I don't think it's going to be a tough challenge. I mean, the Falcons have been a slump. I mean, I think they're still having like a curse from the Super Bowl from that last game Sunday night. I mean, that was awful, man.
That was Super Bowl hangover.
But the Jets,
the Fog Bowl.
I can see them being very competitive. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, Jacob. I would like to say 24-20 in favor of the Jets.
You think the Jets are going to win?
I think the Jets are going to win.
I mean, the Bills beat the Falcons. So
the Bills did beat the Falcons, but then again, the Bills beat the Jets. So
yeah, but the Jets beat the Dolphins.
But you know what?
No, they didn't.
The first time.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. The Jets beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, they just beat them last weekend.
No, not last weekend.
Oh, you said the Jets beat... Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry.
When did the Jets beat the Dolphins this year?
Didn't they beat him?
No.
They only played once, I think, right?
Oh, yes, they did.
Yes, the first time.
No, you know what it is? You know what it is? I'm just so mad about that loss.
Oh, that was bad.
I'm still upset over it. The fact that Matt Moore kills the Jets. I have blocked out all the good memories of the Jets that I've had this year.
And he wasn't good last night against the Ravens.
Oh, he stunk. The whole team laid an egg.
Laid more than just an egg.
I mean, Matt Moore's got to go back to Carolina. That is ridiculous. But we do have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on Beyond the Game.
Hey, it's TJ from NJ. How you doing?
Doing good, TJ. How are you?
Good, good. So, what's up with my Rangers?
I don't know. You tell me. To be honest with you, I've not been following a lot of hockey, but yeah, I've just been a baseball fan. Are you a Dodger-Astro fan by any chance?
Yeah, I'm a Dodgers fan.
You're a Dodger fan? Whoa, that's a shot in the dark.
They travel well.
Wow.
You've got to be happy.
I'm pretty happy. I hope some of their luck spills over to the Rangers on the ice there.
I mean, they both wear blue. So.
Well, hey, listen, they're last in the Metropolitan Division. Something's got to change over there.
I hope so.
Oh, man. I mean, Lundqvist, I don't know, man. He has not looked good. He's got 3.11 goals against. No one's really scoring for him. They need more centers. That's their issue.
Agree. So what's your prediction for the World Series? Do you think the Dodgers are going to take it?
I'm sticking with my prediction, Dodgers in 6.
Nice.
I had the same.
I'm sticking with mine, Dodgers in 7, with Kershaw being the MVP.
Brandon, be honest. What was your original prediction?
No, I had the Dodgers. I think they're too hot of a team right now.
All right, so we all picked the Dodgers? No one picked the I don't like that.
No, because if the Yankees lose to the Astros, then I'm definitely not picking the Astros at all.
I
just can't see that. No, I just can't do that.
You know what? My father is the kind of person who will root for the Astros because they beat the Yankees.
That's me sometimes too, and I'm going to tell you why.
I hate that.
Because I don't want my team to lose for no reason. If you're going to beat my team, you better win the whole thing now.
That's his thing.
I mean, that's a great point.
That's his thing.
But no,
I get that. I get that.
But
I'm
just in favor of what I said.
I go with Brandon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, TJ. Thank you for the call, buddy.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, that was TJ from NJ. Once again, number to call if you have something on your mind is 516-572-7440. Yes, the Jets did beat the Dolphins in their home opener, Week 3. They were able to smother Jay Cutler, although that's easy to do. You know what it was? I've honestly just blotted it out of my mind because the Jets have looked horrible these last 2 weeks.
No, it's okay because they got killed by the Dolphins. Well, not killed, but they had a bad loss.
Themselves. They embarrassed themselves against Matt Moore.
Killed, yeah,
they embarrassed themselves.
A bad loss to the Dolphins last week.
A horrible loss. There's no way you should blow a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter to Matt Moore.
I agree.
That's what bugged me. I know Matt Moore played well, but he's not a good quarterback. We saw it. Baltimore's not a great team either, and Matt Moore looks horrible. He looked like Chad Henne out there.
You know, I think for this game, I hate to disagree with you, Brandon, but I think the Falcons are probably going to win. I think it'll definitely be close. It's either going to happen where Josh McCown throws a late pick and throws the game away, or it might be like by a closing touchdown. You know, interestingly enough, not only have the Falcons lost 3 in a row, they're 0-3 versus AFC East teams this year.
Yeah, they have been ridiculously streaky, those Falcons. But you know what? They have a lot of talent, and I think the right way for them to correct their ship is against the Jets. I don't think it's going to be a slaughter. I think it's going to be a very good game. I wanted to go. If the weather wasn't supposed to be god-awful on Sunday, I'd have wanted to go. I actually invited Dominic, but he's upstate. And Joe, I'd have invited you, but the weather's going to be horrible, so I don't want to go. But I'm telling you now, that's going to be a very good game. I am picking the Falcons, but it's going to be a one-score game. It's going to be close. It's going to be competitive. I'm just picking the Falcons.
They've struggled on offense, and I think that has something to do with losing Kyle Shanahan as the OC.
That has hurt them tremendously. You're 100% right, Joe.
And they also came off a really, really bad loss, so you gotta, keep in mind.
The thing is, though, you have 7 months